Hello, my name is Christian Porter.
My name is David High.
We are presenting our time capsule capstone presentation today. So the thought process. Leading up to the capstone, I had been thinking about it all high school, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. And originally I planned on using the Guatemala mission trip to go to use for my capstone. I went to Guatemala junior year, spring break, and I made a lot of memories and I had a lot of fun, but I want to do something more original. I mean, there's nothing wrong with using that as a capstone, but I feel like a lot of people have done that. And I had suggestions from my parents as well, and I want to do something that I thought of myself. So eventually one day I was watching TV and I had an idea, like it was something came up, reminded me of a time capsule. So I thought about how I could tie that into my capstone. So I thought about it, and I ran it by Miss New, and I got it approved. So
yeah, for me, I was originally just going to coach a youth basketball team, but that's also a little, a lot of people do that, and I just wanted to do something different too. And originally this year I had no idea what I was going to do, and I heard about Doug's idea, thought that was a great idea, thought that was really cool, and I talked to him about it because Doug is very good with ideas, but he's not the most organized, and so he's kind of off the wall, and so I helped him put all his ideas down and work through everything and get organized and get everything in.
Yeah. So the reasoning behind the time capsule, as a kid, I remember making one with my friends, just putting toys in it, and we didn't wait how long we said we were going to wait. We thought like a year or two, but we just like dug it up in a week. And I remember just having a lot of fun making that, and so I wanted to give the seniors and CAK, if I could, the opportunity to be able to look back on the time they had in high school down the road 10 years when life's very different. And I wanted to encapsulate kind of just like the whole CAK senior class into my capstone. And I originally planned on doing a 30-year time capsule burial, but Miss New had the idea of tying it into the 40th anniversary, so it was 10 years, so it would be open on the 50th, and I thought about it, and that, to me, seemed to work out better. Yeah. Space bar.
All right. So our mentor was Rev Burns, and Rev was awesome throughout the whole process. He'd, check in on us every week. He'd text us, make sure we're, doing everything we need to. He really held us accountable, and that was huge, because we have so much other stuff going on. And for him to give us updates and ask us like what we're doing, that helps us work through everything and stay on task and do what we need to do. And he was just huge throughout the whole process.
Yeah, as a mentor, like Rev Burns, I feel like he is familiar with a lot of kind of like digital and like picture like things. Like he does Warrior Network, and I've known him through, I did Warrior Network last year, and so I got to talk to him some, and he seems like he really wanted to help us, and I was glad to have him.
So some of our fears, just the whole planning of it was very, very hard. We had to, get a specific time we're going to bury it and make sure everyone was there, and it just worked out perfectly where we talked to Miss Monica Rogers, and she was able to get us worked into the 40th anniversary celebration, and that was huge because then we could actually get everyone there, and they knew about it, and just getting everyone there was great.
So some fears I had from the beginning, I knew that I wanted to bury it on campus, but I didn't know where I wanted to bury it. And so I had to find a place where in the next 10 years there wouldn't be any building projects or any sort of telephone wires or piping. And so I talked to Michael Westover, and he pointed out a location that was a place that he thought would be good. So we started digging there, and we got about halfway through the first hole, and we just hit huge rocks, and we actually snapped a
We broke the
shovel
shovel in half.
Yeah.
So.
So we moved further down away from the rock, and it was less rocky there.
Yeah.
And so it was good work. Like
Yeah.
we felt good after doing it. It was
It actually took a lot longer than I
yeah, it
thought
took a
would.
while. We
It took a
had
very
dinner,
long
and sun went down as we were
Yeah.
doing it. It was fun.
That was great.
Yeah. So for the impact, I had a lot of things that I wanted to do. There's plenty of things that I could have put in, but at the same time, I didn't want to have to dig a huge hole. Memories, I told the CAK seniors to write a letter to their future self, and I told them, just send it to me, I won't read it, and I'll put it in there, and then 10 years down the road we'll open it, and you'll be able to read a letter from your senior self. And I thought that would be a cool thing to do, because you can just see what like your senior self was thinking. You might have kids, you might have a wife. I mean, we'll be 20, 28, 27, and well, a lot of things have happened by then. So I not everyone in the grade sent out a letter, but I definitely got close to half, I would say. And I talked to Mr. Roberts, and he allocated time in class to write those. So that's where I got a lot of things from that. Some other things in the time capsule.
Me personally, the impact it had on me was, it was so weird thinking about me in 10 years and like where I'm going to be in life. And I thought that was really cool too, because it made you think about the future, and it's really relevant right now before we go off to college, because that's a huge next step, and that's going to be the rest of our lives. That's the first step for the rest of our lives. And I thought it was so cool. We got other people to get involved, and it wasn't just we did this, but the whole senior class got involved, and they were able to think about their future too. And it was just a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Besides the letters that the seniors wrote to their future self, we also included an iPhone. So in 10 years ago is when the iPhone was made. So who knows what the next technological advancement will be in the cell phone technology. So we thought that would be cool to put in there. Me and him put in just relevant stuff that was interesting to us. We put in some newspapers. We had the headline of when Billy Graham died. We had that newspaper. We had National Geographic, the 101 inventions that changed the world. Yeah.
Other stuff like average price of gas right now, average price of a gallon of milk, a dozen of eggs, just stuff like that, so we can look back and see how the prices have changed. And
Yes. So, lesson. As David said earlier, the lesson that I learned was these 4 years have flown by, and my sister's in college right now, and then her 4 years in college have flown by, and seeing kind of this snippet of memory and time, it helped me realize that I just need to make the most of the time I have on Earth. Like, I don't know when I'm gonna be gone, and I don't know what's next in life, but I just need to really make the best of my time here while I'm here. And then for also lessons I learned, community. I think it was cool for our grade to come together. A lot of people thanked me for telling them to write the letter to their future self, and I feel like it brought us together all in a common project.
Yeah, and this whole process, the time management, we did very well with this. I feel like it's so important to plan accordingly, set up the right meetings, and don't wait till the last second, and just take your time throughout the whole process. And probably the biggest lesson I learned throughout this whole thing was just focus on the now, but what you do now impacts your future. And it was just the whole process really made me think about where I am right now and where I'm going and what I need to do now to be the best person I can be.
If we could change anything, originally when I was by myself, I had the idea, but I didn't really get the ball rolling. So I would have started sooner, and I would have brought David along earlier. I think it would have been better if we had more connections with more people at CAK, so we could put more things in from every grade, not just seniors in high school. I mean, we did put in pictures of the elementary school, but maybe like a project or something that was more relevant to the elementary school and middle school would have been better.
Yeah, the communication was really hard especially with the principals of both schools, because I know they're very busy, and it was hard for them to take time to get back to me. And the elementary principal was actually very, very good. She responded very quickly, and she was able to get me what I needed soon. But Mr. Fulford was a little bit more challenging. He responded quite a bit later, and but he was luckily able to get some stuff in the middle school. But yeah, the communication needs to be very important.
Yes. My future looks like attending High Point University, where I will major in entrepreneurship. I cannot wait to go there. It'll be a lot of fun.
And yeah, I will be attending the University of Tennessee, hopefully to do something in the medical field. And what we were thinking is, like, one of the questions you asked was, how does this tie in with our future? Like, will we pursue a career in this field? Which this isn't really like a field you can pursue in, but it also, what it did was make us think about our futures and really be like precise with what we want to do and really get to where we need to be for our futures.
So 10 years down the road, homecoming, 50th anniversary, we hope to have everybody there and see what we put in the time capsule. Thank you.